Hello, I'm Sarah and I'm a Pilates instructor, and this is the second of 3 videos that I put together for those of you who spend the majority of your working day sitting down, whether that be at a desk or driving, whatever it might be, you're sitting down the vast majority of the day. Now, our bodies are not designed to sit down all day. You are designed to have a variety of movement in your day, so sitting down actually has a detrimental impact on your body if you're doing it all the time, particularly if you're not sitting upright or sitting in the correct position. So let us begin just by working out how we should sit. I think everyone knows how they should be sitting, and that is upright. Now, the key to being able to sit upright or knowing how to sit upright is actually the position of your pelvis. Now, when you are in neutral, which is the natural alignment of your spine, your discs in between all of your vertebrae have the sort of sponginess and the room to be able to function properly. That is, be the shock absorbers that they are designed to be. So if you are sitting down, let's take this cushion away for a moment, like this, over your desk, you can see what is happening to your spine. That one side of your spine is being pushed, or one side of the vertebrae and the discs are being pushed, whilst the others are being lengthened. In your shoulders are rounding forwards, the muscles across the top of your back are being lengthened. On the other side, the muscles across the top of your chest are being shortened. So just simply sitting up properly will do you the world of good. Now, sitting up properly basically means having your spine sitting right up on top of your pelvis. So if you tuck your tailbone under, you round your lower back. That's the kind of default position that most people take, whether it be driving, sitting at a desk. If you tilt your pelvis, you'll automatically lengthen through your spine. And as you can see, my spine is now in a much sort of better aligned position. It's how you would envisage a spine to be, which is up tall. Which brings me back to my cushion. Sitting up like that all day is really hard work on the back muscles. I have several of these cushions in each car that we drive, which I use to put behind my back, about here. And that just gives me that little bit of extra support in order to be able to sit up tall. Now, if I was working at a desk, I would have that cushion and I would put it behind my back. It just gives that little bit of lumbar support, that's your lowest portion of your spine, to help you sitting up tall. You can get these sort of all over the place. It is a memory foam, sort of, some call them travel cushions. This is a lumbar support cushion, but you don't have to spend a lot of money, but an incredibly useful tool to have. So let us begin by moving. I am not going to call them exercises, they're movements. It is just moving at your desk whilst you are sitting there, or in your car. So we'll start by head rolls. Now, there is nothing to stop you moving whilst you're working. It will actually assist with concentration levels. If you are sitting pain-free and you're acting in a pain-free way, you'll be able to focus deeper on the work rather than being distracted by any pain that you might have. So just easing out muscles in your body is super important right now. Just stop there, and we're going to focus a little bit on breathing. The diaphragm is one of your core muscles, and you breathe approximately 23,000 times a day. So you might as well make it a good breath. So inhale, sitting up tall, in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Let all of that lovely oxygen get into your body, into your blood, up into your brain. It'll help you feel less lethargic if you breathe properly, which in turn will help you work properly. Inhale, breathe in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Now, just a little bit of an experiment. What I would like you to do, I'm going to take this away now so I can move freely. If you take up your sort of default bad posture position and then try and breathe deeply in and out, just like you were when you're sitting up tall. It is significantly harder. I cannot get as much oxygen flowing into my body. Therefore, please remember to breathe deeply. It will help. I have a little baby theory on that. You know, when you're driving and you're sitting like this and you get really, really tired, even though you've had enough sleep, you're just feeling really tired. I don't think it's just eye tiredness and concentrating really hard on the road. I also think it's because you're not getting enough oxygen flowing into your body, so you do feel that sort of lethargy. So make sure you basically breathe deeply. Right, now, we're going to start with a little bit of rotation. So what I'd like you to do is pushing down on your left thigh, you rotate towards your right, growing taller as you go. And then the other side, inhale, exhale, come back to the middle and go again the other side. And then we'll go a little bit further on the rotations in the next rotation. This time put your left hand on your right thigh, rotate around and draw all the way around, look behind you and then come back. All the time I'm doing this, I'm thinking about getting length in my spine. I'm growing taller. You're spiraling upwards, not down, rotating around. Inhale, exhale, get that rib cage to work, get the rib cage to stretch. That's it. And then back, and then the other side. So then I would like you to clasp your hands and pull forwards. Now this is an exaggerated sort of pull forwards. You imagine you're trying to pull your shoulder blades apart. Inhale, and then as you exhale, place your hands behind you. I'm going to sit a little bit further forwards on my chair there to open your chest out, look up towards the ceiling, and then go again. Bringing forwards, tilting under. Now, if there's a movement which feels particularly good for your body, I would encourage you to do a little bit more of it. Again, if you feel that there is a movement which feels restricted, do a little bit more of it, stretch through it. And go back. Now, we're going to come back to shoulders. Shoulders are a point where they get super, super tense and can and result in giving you neck pain as well as headaches. So keeping those shoulders soft and loose is important. You're going to inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let the shoulders drop down. Repeat that. Inhale, draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, let gravity just flop down. Inhale, draw your shoulders up. Exhale, drop. Repeat. Inhale, come up. Exhale, drop. Now, start rolling your shoulders forwards. You can get a little bit of sort of pace up when you're doing this, and then back. Think about what your shoulder blades are doing. When people think about shoulders, they tend to think about just this joint here. Think about what your shoulder blades are doing. You need to get those shoulder blades moving to release out all of the muscles across the top of your back. And then go forwards again. This time, you're going to let your body come forwards. And then when you go back, your body comes all the way back and forwards, rounding all the way forwards, and then back, all the way back. Hands go onto your thighs. You're going to round your spine. So push your lower back into the back of your chair and then sit up tall, exaggerated sit up tall. Now I'm going to go side on so you can see what my pelvis is doing when I do this. You're tilting under, that's it, and then coming back up again, really lengthening and elongating your spine, and then go again, tilting under, and then come back, reach and stretch. That's it, and go again, under, and reach and stretch. Sticking with the pelvis, you're going to put your hands on your hips, and I want you to just rock. So there's a muscle down in your lower back called the quadratus lumborum, and it is an absolute pig of a muscle. When you pull that muscle, you know about it. It feels like your whole back has gone into spasm. It sort of lies between the base of your spine and the top of your hip at the back. And when that muscle goes, boy, is it sore. And what we're doing here, and then we're going to do circles, so rounding all the way around, is just moving through that muscle. The more you keep muscles moving, lengthened and strengthened, the less likely you are to injure them. So a muscle has to have length and strength in order to be able to perform properly. And that's all we're doing here, is just lengthening and then shortening them, sort of gentle strengthening work. It's not real hard strengthening work, but it is movement nonetheless, and rolling all the way back around. That's it. And just tilt one side to the other side, one side to the other side. So just incorporating a little bit of movement whilst you're sitting there. If you're on a Zoom or a WebEx, you don't have to have your camera on the whole time, surely. Switch it off. If you're sitting there basically getting through a whole mound of work, set your timer every 45 minutes. Take 2 minutes out to move. Surely you can afford that time, because I think you're going to work an awful lot better if you do. Right, I'm just going to do a couple more head movements before we move on to something different. You're going to bring your one arm up and place it over the top of your head. The other arm hangs down. My left arm is hanging down. Imagine I've got a tin of soup or something in, or a tin of tomatoes in my hand. My hand is being pulled down. I'm going to let my head drop over towards the opposite side. As I do that, I feel a lovely stretch going down this area of my neck. Inhale and exhale, just let that stretch happen, and then move your head and look towards your armpit. And as you do that, you feel the stretch loading more into the sort of back of the neck. Inhale and exhale. I'm going to release it there, but if that movement felt particularly good for your neck, do it again, but hold the stretch for longer. On this side, again, get that sort of heavy weight feeling in the arm that's hanging down. Inhale, exhale to let the head drop down. Nice big stretch, and then look towards your armpit. That's it. And then release, and then come back. Now, I'm going to teach you one more technique, which actually looks a bit weird, but it's really, really effective. It's tapping. So you can use a tennis ball, nothing harder than a tennis ball, please. Or you can use a clenched fist. When I say clenched, I don't mean super tight, just gently clenched. And all you do is tap. Now, muscles that get super tight when you're sitting down and you're holding on to a sort of steering wheel, or you're working at your desk like this, these muscles get really short. They're the pectoral muscles. They get short and they get weak and they get sore. You need to get them working. So by tapping, we're just encouraging them to loosen out. And then start moving gently your arm, just moving forwards and backwards. And then you can bring your hand to the back of the shoulder, pulling that shoulder forwards and then rounding it back. If you feel there is a muscle that is particularly tight, just hang out there and tap it a little bit more. See if you can just loosen it out. That's it. And then we're going to swap over arms. Beating of the chest. As I say, don't thump yourself, please. It's just a gentle tapping. Find that point where you're feeling most tension. If you're right-armed, I wouldn't be surprised, or right-handed, if it's sort of the right top of the shoulder here, because you're using that right arm an awful lot more than you are your left. Which brings me on to something else. If you are very dominant on one side or the other, but most of us are dominant on the right-hand side, change things up a bit. Start using your left-hand side a little bit more, and that can just be on day-to-day movements. For example, opening a fridge door, stirring a bowl of soup, I don't know, opening a car door, and legs as well, don't forget your legs. If you tend to go up the stairs, leading with your right foot, lead with your left. Just changing those little things can just help ease out and rebalance your body, basically, and that's what we want to have, is a balanced body, pain-free. Okay, so I hope those little movements helped. Do just keep moving is the best advice I can give anybody. Move. Switch your cameras off on Zoom, or maybe revert to phone calls instead of video calls occasionally. Sometimes just, having your headset on and just chatting, you don't need to necessarily see somebody, so you can move away from that screen, even if it's for 5-10 minutes in the day. Thank you very much, and thank you for watching. See you again soon, hopefully. Thanks. Bye.